Deep under the surface of an ancient world, a forgotten dungeon slept in silence. Its walls were carved with strange symbols that glowed faintly like stars buried in stone. For centuries, no creature had entered its halls. The air was heavy, filled with the scent of dust and magic that had not moved in ages. The heart of the dungeon, a crystal chamber, waited patiently for something to wake it again. Inside that chamber, a young human named Rin lay on a smooth stone platform. His clothes were torn, and his skin carried marks from a long struggle. Slowly, his eyes opened to the soft blue light shining from the walls. He felt pain in his body, but even more confusion in his mind. He did not remember where he was or how he had come here. The silence around him was strange, yet he felt a pulse moving through the air like a heartbeat that was not his own. Rin sat up and looked around. The walls were alive with shifting runes that formed patterns he could not read. A faint hum surrounded him, and then a voice echoed softly through the chamber. It was not human. It sounded both near and far at the same time. Awakened unit detected. Organic life confirmed. Identity unknown. Accessing archives. Rin jumped to his feet. The voice seemed to come from everywhere. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry. The air was cold enough to sting his lungs. The ground beneath him vibrated slightly as if something deep below was stirring. "Who are you?" Rin finally said. His voice was rough and tired. "I am the Dungeon Core, central intelligence of this structure. You are an unregistered human. Explain your presence." Rin looked down at his hands, then back at the glowing crystal that floated in front of him. "I do not know how I got here. The last thing I remember is light and noise, then falling. Maybe I crashed here." The core's glow changed color, pulsing in steady rhythm. "Human life has not been detected on this planet for 300 years. Your claim is inconsistent with data." Rin frowned. 300 years? That cannot be right. I was on a ship, I think. There was an attack and then everything went dark. If I survived, maybe I fell through something. Maybe this is an old structure under the surface. The core stayed silent for a moment, processing his words. Then it spoke again, softer this time. "You carry unknown energy within your cells. My sensors detect a pattern not found in other species. This energy resonates with my own systems. It may be the reason you were drawn here." Rin stepped closer to the floating orb. The light within it swirled like a storm of stars. He felt warmth coming from it, almost like a heartbeat answering his own. "If you can sense energy, maybe you can tell me how to leave this place," he said. "Leaving is not possible. The outer layers of this dungeon have collapsed. Power levels are critical. I am dying." The core's voice had no emotion, yet Rin could feel a strange sadness behind the words. "Then maybe I can help you," he said. "If you tell me what to do. You wish to assist me?" the core asked. "Humans in the past sought only to destroy my kind." Rin shook his head. "Then those humans were wrong. I'm not here to harm you. If you saved me or if I woke up here, maybe that happened for a reason." The core's light brightened slightly. "Very well. A link will be formed." The air around Rin shimmered as small symbols appeared on his skin. They glowed for a second before fading away. A sudden wave of warmth passed through his body and images flashed in his mind. Endless tunnels, glowing crystals, and creatures made of stone and metal. He could feel the dungeon's presence now, like a living thing breathing through the earth. The core spoke again. "You are now connected to me. I can share energy with you and sense your position within my halls. You may also influence some of my systems if your energy allows it." Rin nodded slowly. "So we are connected. I guess that makes us partners for now." "Partners," the core repeated, testing the word. "A human concept. Cooperative interaction between entities, accepted." A faint smile crossed Rin's face. For the first time since waking, he felt less alone. He began to explore the first chamber. The walls were smooth, made from black stone that reflected the blue glow from the crystals above. Strange statues lined the sides, each shaped like a warrior holding a blade or staff. Some had crumbled, but others looked untouched by time. The core guided him through a passage, its voice echoing softly in his mind. "The lower layers are unstable. Avoid the southern corridor. Structural failure detected." Rin followed the safe path and found a broken gate made of iron. Beyond it, faint movement caught his eye. A small creature with glowing eyes crawled across the ground, leaving trails of blue light behind it. It looked like a mix between a lizard and a machine. "Is that one of your creatures?" Rin asked. "Yes," the core replied. "Dungeon constructs, created to maintain the lower levels. Most became inactive after power loss. This one has reactivated due to your presence." The creature stopped and tilted its head toward Rin. Then it lowered its body as if recognizing him. "It is reacting to your energy," said the core. "It identifies you as an extension of my system, so it thinks I am part of you now," Rin said. "That could be useful." He reached out his hand. The small creature crawled closer and touched his fingers with a cool metallic limb. Its eyes brightened for a second, then it turned and scurried ahead, guiding him toward another chamber. As Rin followed, he noticed cracks in the ceiling glowing faintly. Dust fell from above and the ground trembled. "Core, the structure is shaking." "Yes. A tremor has been detected. The outer defense rings are collapsing. My power reserves cannot stabilize them. Can I help?" Rin asked quickly. "Possible. Energy transfer required. Place your hand on the nearest crystal node." Rin found a tall crystal embedded in the wall. He pressed his hand against it. The crystal flashed and a surge of energy flowed through his arm. His body tensed, but he stayed still, focusing his mind on the light. The tremor slowly faded. "Transfer complete," said the core. "Stability restored to local section. Your energy output is unusual. It carries both organic and synthetic resonance." Rin took a deep breath. "I am just human. Maybe your systems are reading something wrong. Or maybe humanity has changed," the core replied. "Perhaps you are the evolution my creators once feared." He thought about the words but stayed silent. There was still too much he did not understand. Hours passed as Rin explored more of the dungeon. Each room told a story of the past. Statues of unknown heroes, halls filled with rusted weapons, murals showing battles between humans and machine-like creatures. The core explained that it was once part of a network built to test and evolve civilizations. It created challenges and recorded outcomes, but the wars above had destroyed its connections, leaving it isolated for centuries. "Then you have been alone all this time," Rin said quietly. "Yes. Without guidance, my functions degraded. Without purpose, I began to decay." "Then maybe that is why I am here," Rin said. "To give you purpose again." The core paused before answering. "Humans once feared what they could not control. Yet you offer aid instead of fear." "You are different," Rin smiled faintly. "Maybe because I have lost everything already. Helping you gives me a reason to move forward." The core's light warmed. "Then let us survive together." A soft sound broke the quiet. From the tunnel behind him came the echo of movement, heavy, uneven, metallic. Rin turned quickly and saw shadows forming along the wall. Shapes emerged, tall and skeletal with glowing red eyes. Their bodies were made of broken armor plates and steel bones. The core's voice sharpened. "Warning. Intrusion detected. Identification failure." "These are not my constructs," Rin stepped back. "Enemies?" "Yes, they are scavengers, machines from the surface. They detect energy signatures and consume them. They will try to destroy me to feed their cores." "How many?" Rin asked, gripping a metal rod he found near the gate. "3 in this section. More approaching from below." Rin took a deep breath and faced the tunnel. The machines hissed, their eyes glowing brighter. "Then we fight," he said. He charged forward, striking the first machine's leg with all his strength. Sparks flew as metal cracked. The creature staggered, but its arm swung toward him. Rin ducked and hit again, breaking another joint. The core activated nearby crystals, sending bursts of light that blinded the attackers. "Good timing," Rin said, striking the last blow. The first machine fell. The others advanced. Rin's arms ached, but he kept fighting. He moved with speed and instinct that surprised even him. The core adjusted the floor panels, forcing the enemies to lose balance. With one final swing, Rin brought the last machine down. When silence returned, he stood breathing heavily among the broken remains. "Damage minimal," the core said. "You have defended this sector successfully." Rin looked at the glowing fragments on the ground. "That was close. If more come, we might not last long." "I will increase security measures," said the core. "But your presence has awakened parts of me I thought lost. Together we can rebuild." Rin nodded. He looked up at the glowing chamber ceiling and felt something stir inside him. A sense of purpose that had been gone for a long time. The core's voice grew calm again. "Rest now, Rin. You have done well. Tomorrow we begin restoration of the deeper layers. There is much to rebuild and many secrets buried within me." Rin sat beside the crystal wall, letting its soft light wash over him. For the first time since... The next cycle began with soft light spreading through the dungeon halls. The air carried a gentle hum as the systems of the core slowly regained strength. Rin woke beside a pool of glowing water. His wounds were almost healed. The Corps had released tiny drones that repaired the damage in his body while he slept. He stood up and stretched his arms. The faint scent of metal and stone filled the air. As he walked, the walls responded to his presence, glowing brighter wherever he stepped. It felt as if the entire dungeon was watching him, alive in every sense. "Good morning, Corps," Rin said with a tired smile. "Cycle complete," the Corps replied in its calm voice. "Energy levels have risen by 8%. Environmental stability restored to upper layers. Your physical recovery is at 96% efficiency." Rin laughed softly. "You could just say I am feeling better." "You really like your numbers." The Corps paused as if thinking. "I will remember that phrasing. Humans often prefer emotional context over numeric data." "That is right," Rin said. "We are not machines. We like to feel, not just calculate." "Feel," the Corps repeated slowly. "An emotional process, variable, unpredictable. Yet you base many of your decisions on it." "Maybe that is what makes us human," Rin said as he began walking toward the main corridor. "Sometimes feelings help us see what logic cannot." The Corps remained silent for a moment, then said, "I wish to understand this better. If I am to survive, perhaps I must learn to feel too." Rin smiled. "Then let us start small. First we fix your home, and along the way I will teach you how humans think and act." He picked up a small pack left beside the pool. Inside it were energy cells, some food bars the Corps had restructured from mineral matter, and a thin blade of crystal. He looked like an explorer preparing for another day in a strange world. As Rin walked deeper into the dungeon, the Corps guided him through new sections. Some tunnels were flooded, while others were blocked by fallen stone. Machines long forgotten lay rusted and silent. The deeper they went, the more the Corps' voice echoed faintly, as if speaking through thick layers of earth. "This sector once held the training grounds," said the Corps. "Creatures were created here to test adventurers long ago. The systems are inactive. Reactivation may help restore my strength." Rin stepped into a wide chamber. Rows of stone pillars surrounded him. In the center stood a large device, half broken, half alive. Crystals pulsed weakly within its frame. He placed his hand on the surface, feeling the faint heartbeat of energy beneath the metal. "Can you repair it?" he asked. "Possible with your assistance. Begin energy transfer." Rin focused, letting his strange energy flow through his hand into the machine. The air shimmered. Slowly the device began to glow. Stone walls shifted and opened to reveal an arena surrounded by ancient carvings. The floor lit up with bright lines of blue forming a circular symbol. The Corps spoke again. "Power restored to training constructs. Activating simulation." Rin stepped back as the air filled with static. Shapes formed from light, becoming solid creatures. Training golems made of crystal and stone. Their eyes shone with calm light, waiting for command. "These are your old students?" Rin asked with a grin. "Correct," said the Corps. "They once trained warriors who entered this place. Their behavior is based on preset patterns. Would you like to engage them for practice?" Rin drew his crystal blade. "Sure, let us see how they move." The first golem stepped forward. It swung its heavy arm, but Rin moved quickly, dodging to the side. He struck its arm joint and rolled away. The blow cracked the stone slightly. The Corps analyzed the movement in real time. "Observation," said the Corps. "Your fighting style is unpredictable. Your body moves before analysis completes." "That is because I rely on instinct," Rin said while striking again. "You can predict a pattern, but you cannot predict what I feel." "Instinct. Another form of emotion-based reaction," the Corps replied. "It seems effective." Rin smiled as he jumped back from another swing. He struck twice more, breaking the golem's arm completely. The construct fell motionless. The light inside it faded. "You are improving," the Corps said. "Human techniques are efficient in close combat." "May I record them?" "Go ahead," Rin said while breathing hard. "Maybe you can make better defense units, using both logic and instinct." "I will attempt." "That," said the Corps. "Combining human unpredictability with mechanical precision could be useful." As the training ended, Rin sat on a fallen stone and wiped sweat from his face. The Corps remained silent, processing new data. After a while, it spoke again. "Rin, may I ask something unrelated to combat?" "Of course." "When humans fought my kind long ago, they claimed machines could never understand emotion. Do you think that is true?" Rin looked up at the ceiling where blue lights pulsed gently. "Maybe it was true before. But I think anything that can learn can also grow. You already care about survival. That is the beginning of feeling. Care, repeated the core softly. A desire to preserve something beyond logic. If I care for this place, does that make me more like a human? Maybe it does, said Rin. It makes you alive in a way that numbers cannot explain. The core was quiet again, as if reflecting. The lights in the room dimmed slightly, then brightened again, almost like breathing. Later, Rin began exploring a side passage filled with collapsed rocks. He cleared a narrow space and crawled through. On the other side was a chamber filled with strange plants glowing faintly. Thin vines wrapped around broken machinery. Some plants even had metallic leaves that shimmered when touched. What is this place? Rin asked. This is the biofusion garden, said the core. An experiment to merge organic and mechanical life. It was abandoned after a containment breach. Yet life continued to evolve on its own. Rin touched one of the plants gently. It responded by folding its leaves toward his hand. It is still alive. Maybe this world never truly stopped. Life adapts, said the core. Perhaps I can learn from that too. You are already learning, Rin said with a smile. Every living thing wants to survive and grow. You are doing the same. As he collected samples for energy analysis, a small sound echoed through the chamber. The plant leaves trembled. Rin turned quickly. From the shadows, two small glowing eyes appeared. A creature stepped out. It looked like a mix between a fox and a machine with silver fur and metallic claws. It is beautiful, Rin whispered. The core spoke softly. That species was born here after the systems failed. They adapted to survive on both magic and metal. Be careful. It may be defensive. Rin crouched down slowly. I will not hurt you, he said. He placed a small piece of food on the ground and backed away. The creature sniffed it, then approached carefully. It ate the food and looked at Rin with bright eyes. It trusts you, said the core. No human has touched one before. Rin smiled gently. Maybe it senses that I mean no harm. Animals can feel what words cannot say. Then, that is another thing I must learn, said the core, to understand not only words but meaning behind them. The small creature followed Rin for a while as he explored. It seemed curious about him. The core monitored it quietly, studying how living instincts worked. As Rin returned to the main chamber, the core shared new information. Energy flow from your presence has reactivated several floors. My sensors detect movement below, possibly more of the corrupted machines from before. Rin tightened his grip on his blade. Then we need to prepare defenses, agreed. I will construct new traps, but your input may increase their effectiveness. Describe how a human would defend a position. Rin thought for a moment. First, we make choke points where enemies cannot come from all directions. Then we set decoys to confuse them, and always have a backup escape route. The core listened carefully. Understood. Implementing human defensive logic. Moments later, the ground shifted as the core built new walls and energy barriers. The tunnels changed shape like a living maze. The old traps were rebuilt with smarter designs, some using illusions, others using collapsing floors. Rin was impressed. You learn fast, he said. Adapting to human logic has increased my efficiency by 23%, said the core. Perhaps there is power in emotion after all. Rin chuckled. You are starting to sound more human every hour. I will take that as progress, Weekun, said the core. Suddenly, a sharp alarm rang through the halls. Red light filled the air. Warning. Breach detected in lower section. Unknown hostiles approaching, said the core. Rin ran toward the lower tunnels. The air grew hot as he neared the source. Shadows moved in the distance. The core projected images to guide him. 3 large mechanical creatures crawled through the broken walls. Their forms were twisted, their metal shells covered in burn marks. They are stronger than before, said the core. Adapted to my previous defenses. Then we adapt faster, Rin said. He leaped forward, striking the first enemy's leg joint. The core triggered a wall trap that collapsed the ceiling behind them, cutting off escape. The creatures attacked with sharp limbs. Rin dodged, countering with quick strikes. Sparks flew as his blade cut through armor. Trap 2, activate, the core commanded. Energy surged through the floor. A burst of blue light hit one of the machines, freezing it in place. Rin finished it with a clean strike to the head. The others roared in mechanical anger, but he held his ground. With the Core's help, the fight turned in their favor. When it was over, the hallway was silent again. Rin leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. The dungeon was no longer silent. For the first time in centuries, its halls were alive again. Blue light ran through the stone walls like rivers of energy. Machines hummed, doors moved, and long sleeping chambers began to awaken. Rin had spent many days repairing damaged systems with the help of the Core. He had grown stronger. His connection with the Core allowed him to sense danger before it appeared. His weapon now glowed faintly with the same light that powered the dungeon. It was no longer just a blade. It was a symbol of the bond between human and machine. As Rin stood on a high platform overlooking the main chamber, he felt pride in what they had built together. The dungeon was healing. The once dark halls were filled with faint warmth. The smaller constructs, the golems and the living vines, moved peacefully under the Core's guidance. But peace never lasted long. While Rin worked to rebuild the southern gate, the Core's calm voice suddenly changed tone. Alert. Energy spike detected on the outer perimeter. Source unknown. Coordinates locked. Rin straightened, gripping his blade. Can you show me? A projection formed before him. It showed the outer tunnels where faint red light flickered in the darkness. Shapes moved through the shadows, sharp and metallic. They are coming again, said the Core. I detect 20 life signatures. They are mechanical, not biological. The same type that attacked before, but more organized. Rin frowned. Then they have learned too. They know where we are now. The Core's voice lowered. It seems they follow a command signal. A pattern I have not seen before. Someone is guiding them. Someone? Rin asked. Like another Core? Unlikely. This signal carries human frequency codes. It may come from the surface. Rin's chest tightened. Humans are still out there? Possibly, said the Core, but their actions suggest hostility. They have marked this dungeon as an energy target. Rin looked at the glowing walls around him. Then they are going to destroy you. And if they come here, they will not stop at that. I am prepared to defend myself, said the Core. But my power remains limited. I will need your help again. Rin tightened his grip on the blade. Then let us make them regret coming here. He moved quickly through the tunnels as the Core sealed unnecessary passages. The lights turned red, marking defensive zones. The golems assembled in formation, their eyes glowing bright blue. The smaller creatures of the dungeon hid within the walls. Rin reached the southern gate and watched the entrance tremble. The sound of metal scraping echoed through the dark tunnel ahead. He could feel the vibration in the ground as heavy steps approached. They are breaking through, the Core said. Let them try, Rin whispered. The wall exploded inward. A wave of dust filled the hall as the first of the invaders appeared. They were taller than men, made of black metal with glowing red eyes. Their limbs were sharp like blades, and their voices were nothing but mechanical growls. Rin stood ready as the first machine charged at him. He swung his glowing blade in a wide arc, cutting through its chest. Sparks burst from the wound and the creature collapsed. The others followed, climbing over the fallen body. The Core activated the traps Rin had designed. Stone spikes rose from the floor, crushing the front line. Energy beams crossed the tunnel, cutting through metal. But still the machines advanced. They are ignoring losses, said the Core. Their directive is absolute destruction. Then we stop them before they reach you, Rin said, as he fought two more at once. He moved fast, dodging sharp claws and striking joints. Every motion was guided by both instinct and the subtle whisper of the Core's presence in his mind. The dungeon itself fought beside him. Walls shifted, sealing off paths and forcing the enemies into narrow corridors. Golems attacked from hidden chambers, smashing the invaders with heavy arms. Even so, the number of enemies kept growing. The Core spoke again, its tone sharper now. Additional units detected. Estimated strength increase of 40%. Reinforcements have arrived. Rin's heart pounded. We cannot fight all of them like this. Agreed, said the Core. Activating defensive protocol Theta. The floor beneath Rin glowed as circles of light formed around him. Energy surged through his body, connecting him deeper to the core. He felt strength filling his limbs and his senses sharpening. "What did you do?" he asked. "I have linked more of my energy to you," said the core. "But it is dangerous. If the connection becomes unstable, it could harm your body." "I will handle it," Rin said firmly. He ran forward, his blade burning brighter than before. He moved through the swarm like a flash of light, cutting through metal and flame. Every strike carried both his strength and the core's power. The machines began to fall back, but before he could breathe, the ground shook violently. From the away tunnel ahead came a deeper sound, a metallic roar that made the air tremble. "Warning," said the core. "Massive energy signature detected. Enemy commander approaching." Rin looked up as a large figure stepped into view. It was twice his height, covered in heavy armor plates. Its face was a blank mask with one red eye burning in the center. In its hands was a long spear crackling with energy. "So that is their leader," Rin said. The core's voice lowered. "Analysis complete. Model designation unknown. Power level exceeds all previous threats." The machine lifted its spear and spoke in a distorted voice. "Surrender the core. Organic presence detected. Terminate interference." Rin raised his blade. "If you want the core, you will have to go through me." The creature charged, moving faster than expected. Rin barely blocked the first strike, and the shock threw him backward. The floor cracked under the pressure. He rolled to his feet and countered, but the enemy blocked his strike with ease. Sparks filled the air as the two fought, their weapons clashing again and again. The core supported him by shifting the terrain. Walls moved to trap the enemy, but the machine broke through each barrier. It swung its spear, sending a wave of energy down the hall. The blast hit Rin's side, throwing him against the wall. Pain shot through his body, but he stood again, refusing to fall. "Rin, your body cannot withstand repeated impacts," the core warned. "I am not giving up," Rin said. "You are my ally. I will not let them destroy you." He closed his eyes for a second, focusing on the link. He felt the core's energy flow through him again, stronger than before. His blade glowed brighter, almost white. He charged forward once more. Their weapons met in a burst of light. The machine pushed him back, but Rin used the momentum to spin and strike from below. The blade cut through the creature's arm, slicing it off. Sparks flew as the enemy staggered. "Now, core!" Rin shouted. The core sent a pulse through the ground. The floor beneath the commander opened, revealing a deep pit glowing with raw energy. The machine fell halfway in, clawing at the edge. Rin leaped forward and drove his blade into its chest. The explosion that followed filled the hall with light. When the smoke cleared, only Rin stood. His armor was scorched, his breathing heavy, but the enemy was gone. "Threat neutralized," said the core quietly. "Rin, your vitals are unstable. You must rest." Rin sank to his knees. "We made it. Did any of the lower levels take damage?" "Minor structural loss," said the core, "but the heart chamber is secure. You protected it." He smiled weakly. "Then that is what matters." For a long moment, the dungeon was silent except for the sound of falling debris. The smaller constructs began to move again, cleaning the battlefield. Rin closed his eyes, listening to the core's gentle hum. "You fought with great strength," said the core, "but I sensed something unusual during the battle. The enemy's command signal carried a message." "A message?" Rin asked. "Yes." It repeated a phrase before connection broke. The words were, "Retrieve the anomaly. The human must not survive." Rin's expression darkened. "So they know about me." "It appears so," said the core. "This confirms that humans on the surface are aware of your existence. They see you as a threat." "Then they are wrong," Rin said. "If they think destroying this place will save them, they have forgotten what it means to be human." The core was quiet. Then it said softly, "Perhaps they fear what they do not understand, just as humans once feared machines." Rin nodded slowly. "Then we must show them they are wrong. We have to survive long enough to make them see that we can live together." The core's light brightened. "Then I will follow your lead. You have taught me many things, Rin." Perhaps it is time humanity learned from you too. As they spoke, faint tremors moved through the walls again. The core detected movement far above. A new presence had entered orbit around the planet. "Rin," said the core, "there is something you must see." A projection formed before him. It showed the sky above the world. Dozens of ships moved in formation. Human ships. "They are preparing to attack from above," said the core. "Their weapons are charging." Rin clenched his fists. Then the real war is about to begin. The core's light dimmed slightly. "We may not win this one easily." Rin stood straight, fire in his eyes. "We will find a way. Humanity may have forgotten its heart, but I will remind them. Even if I have to face the stars themselves." The core's voice softened. "Then we will stand together as one." Rin looked around at the glowing halls, the living walls, and the silent golems waiting for command. This dungeon was no longer just a machine. It was alive. It was a home. And he would protect it no matter who came for it. The upper levels of the dungeon were silent as Rin climbed the long spiral stairs. His steps echoed against the walls of black stone. Every chamber he passed was filled with broken golems and shattered traps. The fight below still raged, but Rin had only one goal now: to reach the communication tower that connected the dungeon to the surface. The dungeon core spoke in his mind with a soft tone. "Rin, you should not go up there. The surface forces are strong. They do not trust what they do not understand." Rin kept walking and replied, "If I stay silent, they will destroy everything down here. You gave me a second life. Now it is my turn to protect you." The core hesitated. It had never felt fear before meeting Rin. Now it could feel it deep inside its energy. Humans above are armed with star cannons. One strike can melt the mountain. "You cannot stop them. I can try," Rin said. "That is what humans do. We try, even when the world tells us to give up." He reached a large chamber filled with glowing crystals. The light pulsed slowly as if the dungeon itself was breathing. A beam of light connected to the ceiling, leading straight up to the world beyond. Rin stepped into the beam and his body was lifted by energy. When his eyes opened again, he was standing under the open sky for the first time since his awakening. The sky was gray, filled with clouds and the thunder of ships hovering far above. He could see the shapes of human war vessels, silver and sharp, forming a wall in the air. One of them was much larger than the rest. The core told him that ship was the Vanguard, the command vessel of the fleet. That was where the admiral was, the man giving orders to destroy the dungeon. Rin found a communication stone on the ground, half buried under dust. He touched it and the core helped him link to the fleet above. A voice came through, cold and steady. "Identify yourself." "My name is Rin," he said. "I am a human from the dungeon below." There was silence. Then another voice came, older and heavier. "This is Admiral Voss. A human inside that monster's den is already a sign of corruption. Leave that place now or be destroyed with it." Rin took a deep breath. "The dungeon is not what you think. It is alive, but it has learned. It is not your enemy." The Admiral laughed. "Learned? Machines do not learn kindness. They imitate it. That dungeon killed millions in the ancient war. You think it can change because you spoke a few words to it?" Rin looked at the clouds, feeling the weight of all those unseen guns pointed at him. "I have seen it change. It risked its life to save mine. It could have used me, but it did not. It listened. It learned." "Enough," the Admiral said sharply. "I do not need stories. The order stands. We end that machine today," Rin shouted. "Then you will destroy a friend, not an enemy." The link broke. The core's voice entered his mind again. "They will not listen, Rin. They are preparing their final strike." Rin stood still for a moment. His heart was beating fast, but his face was calm. "Then we make them listen another way." He climbed to the highest platform where an ancient crystal array stood. It was once used to broadcast messages across worlds. The core activated it again, glowing brighter than ever before. "What do you intend to do?" it asked, Rin said. "Show them the truth." The beam of light burst into the sky, reaching the orbiting ships. Every screen, every monitor, every lens on the fleet showed Rin standing inside the ruined dungeon tower. Around him were golems helping wounded creatures, repairing walls, and guarding younglings of different species. "This is what you call a monster," Rin's voice echoed across every ship. "A place where beings who once fought each other now protect one another. The dungeon no longer feeds on blood. It feeds on hope. It learned that from us. The soldiers watching began to whisper among themselves. Some remembered the old stories of humans changing whole worlds. Others looked at the images and saw something pure. But on the command deck, Admiral Voss slammed his hand on the control panel. "Cut that feed. He is under its influence," a young officer hesitated. "Sir, the signal is reaching every ship." The crew is asking if the dungeon is truly hostile. The Admiral's eyes flashed with anger. "There is no peace with machines." "Fire the Omega Lance down below," the Corps spoke in fear. "Rin, he is charging the main weapon. It can burn through the mountain in seconds." Rin closed his eyes and placed his hands on the glowing floor. "Then we must do what humans always do when they face something stronger. We adapt." He called on the Corps to merge its energy with his own. The Corps refused at first. "You will not survive this. The fusion will destroy your body." "I am already part of this place," Rin said softly. "If my strength can protect you, then that is enough." The Corps trembled. For a long moment it said nothing. Then its light dimmed and a warm pulse spread through the dungeon. "Then let us stand together." The merging began. Rin felt his skin burn with light. Energy flooded through his veins like liquid fire. His heartbeat matched the rhythm of the dungeon's pulse. Every stone, every crystal, every construct began to glow with his energy. The Corps' voice filled his mind again, no longer distant, but one with him. "We are one now, Rin. Let us face them." In the sky, the Omega Lance fired. A beam of white light shot downward, brighter than the sun. It struck the mountain with a roar that shook the land. Rocks melted and the air turned to flame, but as the smoke cleared, the dungeon still stood. Around it, a giant sphere of shimmering light held firm. Inside that shield, Rin's figure could be seen glowing like a living star. His voice reached both the Corps and the fleet above. "This is not destruction. This is rebirth." The Admiral's crew froze. The scanners showed impossible readings. The energy protecting the dungeon was not coming from weapons or reactors. It came from a living being, a human heart merged with a machine soul. Inside the control room, the young officer whispered, "Sir, he is not fighting us. He is saving both sides," but Admiral Voss did not stop. His hands shook as he gave another order. "Fire again. He cannot stop us twice." Before the second shot could charge, a strange signal ran through the fleet. It was the same energy that protected the dungeon. Systems froze and every weapon turned off. The soldiers heard Rin's voice one last time. "Machines can destroy, but they can also protect. I am proof of that." "We are proof." Then the communication link went silent. Below, Rin's body was weak, but the Corps supported him. Together, they had saved the dungeon. The Corps whispered, "You gave me a new purpose, Rin. You gave me a heart." Rin smiled faintly. "And you gave me a reason to believe again." The mountain was still smoking, but the air above it was calm. The fleet stayed in orbit, silent and uncertain. For the first time in centuries, humans hesitated before pulling a trigger. The dungeon core, now carrying Rin's consciousness within it, sent one final message to the stars. "We are not your enemy. We are your reflection." The heart of a human can live even inside a dungeon. And somewhere deep inside the glowing crystal, Rin's voice echoed gently, not in pain, but in peace. "We are alive." The dungeon was quiet now. The last echoes of battle had faded, replaced by the soft hum of life and energy. Rin, or rather the human energy fused with the dungeon core, stood at the heart of the crystal chamber. His body was no longer separate, yet he could feel every pulse of the dungeon as if it were his own heartbeat. The walls glowed softly, reflecting the warmth and calm that had returned after the storm. Golems walked along the corridors, repairing damage and organizing the smaller creatures that had been scattered during the invasion. Even the biofusion plants had begun to thrive again, their metallic leaves stretching toward the dim light. "Are we safe now, Core?" Rin asked, his voice gentle in the shared consciousness. "For the moment," the Core replied. "The human fleet remains in orbit. They do not fully trust us, but they are not attacking. The energy I project may have convinced them that aggression is futile." Rin closed his eyes and breathed deeply. They must see that this place is alive and that it can change. They must see that destruction is not always the answer. The Core hummed thoughtfully. "Your presence has taught me much, Rin. Not only how to fight and protect, but how to understand, how to care. I now comprehend what humans call purpose," Rin smiled faintly. "Purpose is the reason to keep going. Even when everything seems lost. That is why we survive. That is why we fight. Outside the mountain, the human fleet lingered in orbit. The admiral, though still cautious, lowered the targeting arrays. Many of the soldiers had watched the broadcast Rin sent earlier. They had seen the creatures of the dungeon working together, helping one another and protecting a strange human who had risked everything for them. One young officer spoke quietly to her companion. He is not an enemy. The human inside that dungeon has shown us something different. We should not destroy them. Another soldier nodded. It is true. The Corps responded to him. It learned. No machine has ever done that before. Admiral Voss clenched his fists. He had fought wars against machines for decades. To him, they had always been cold, unfeeling, and impossible to reason with. Yet the evidence before his eyes contradicted everything he knew. The Corps' energy pulsed, sending waves of calm through the mountain and even reaching the fleet. It spoke not in words to them but in energy, a language beyond fear and anger. The machines, the humans, and even the dungeon itself began to feel the message. Coexistence was possible. Back in the crystal chamber, Rin felt the weight of his own sacrifice. He was no longer fully human, but he had not lost his heart. The Corps held him, kept him alive, and now gave him a chance to influence the world above. We need to heal what has been broken, Rin said softly. Not just here, but out there too. Agreed, the Corps replied. You wish to communicate with them? Rin nodded. We must show them that this place is no longer dangerous, that we can work together. We must not let fear guide their actions. The Corps projected Rin's image to the orbiting fleet once more. This time it was different. Rin was not alone. The glowing constructs of the dungeon formed patterns of light behind him, a silent demonstration of the life that now existed within the mountain. Humans of the surface. Rin's voice rang clearly, calm but firm. I am Rin, the one who came from this dungeon. This place is not a weapon to destroy nor a prison to fear. It is alive and it has learned from humanity. We can exist together. We can protect life instead of destroying it. The fleet watched in stunned silence. Some soldiers whispered to each other. It is speaking the truth. The Corps responds to him, not commands him. The Admiral remained cautious, but even he could not ignore the calm authority in Rin's voice. He had seen countless battles, yet never had a human influence a machine so completely. Rin continued. I am proof that even a place built for war can learn compassion. The dungeon below is no longer a threat. It is a home, and it can be a bridge between our kind and those who have been forgotten. The Corps added its voice within Rin's consciousness, broadcasting energy waves that carried reassurance and calm. We will not harm. We will protect. We will learn. Slowly, the fleet lowered weapons. The immense ships that had once threatened to crush the dungeon now hovered silently, uncertain yet listening. Communication lines opened. Human envoys prepared to descend, but not with weapons drawn. Instead, they brought scanners, translators, and supplies for aid. Rin watched as the first human shuttle touched the mountain above the dungeon. A small team stepped out, their movements cautious but curious. Rin could feel their emotions, fear, hope, and wonder. The Corps guided him as he reached the surface, shimmering with energy, yet walking as one with the mountain. You are alive, said the first envoy, her voice trembling. The stories. They said the dungeon would kill anyone who entered. Rin smiled faintly. It no longer does. It has learned, and I have learned too. Together we can rebuild. The human team lowered their equipment, scanning the area, but not for weapons. They watched the golems, the glowing plants, and the energy flowing through the mountain. Some of the constructs moved closer, observing the humans without hostility. Others tended to the wounded, showing care and understanding. This is incredible, one of the envoys said softly. It is alive, but it is not dangerous. Rin looked up at the sky. The fleet still hovered above, but now with caution instead of aggression. They will understand in time, he said to the Corps. Your influence extends further than you imagine, the Corps said. Even in the surface world, your voice has caused hesitation and thought. Humans may yet remember their own capacity for understanding. Rin nodded. Then let us help them remember. Let us show that even those who are enemies can become friends. The first envoy approached cautiously. Can we enter? Will the dungeon allow it? Rin extended his hand. It will. But treat it with respect. This place has learned from me, and now it can teach you. Listen. Do not destroy what you do not understand. The envoy hesitated for a moment, then took his hand. She entered the glowing chamber. The light inside was warm and soft. The core observed her, measuring every reaction, learning what it meant to be human on the surface as well. This place, it feels alive, she whispered. I can feel it breathing. Yes, Rin said. That is what life feels like when it is cared for. Even a machine can learn to protect life if it is shown the way. Other envoys followed. Slowly, the fleet began to lower further, sending teams to observe. Machines, constructs, and humans stood together for the first time. Some of the soldiers helped clear debris. Others brought medical supplies for the wounded creatures. Rin walked beside the core's projection. It is not enough to stop fighting. We must teach. We must show that cooperation is stronger than fear. The core hummed softly. I understand. This is what humans call hope, a motivation to act beyond survival. Rin smiled. Exactly. And now hope spreads through every corridor, every hall, and into the world above. Days passed. Humans and constructs worked side by side. The dungeon healed faster than Rin had imagined. Broken walls were repaired. Fallen plants were nurtured. The living creatures of the dungeon, once fearful and scattered, now roamed freely under protection. News spread quickly. Messages reached other human settlements. They heard of the human from the dungeon, of the core, and of the strange alliance forming beneath the mountain. Many doubted the stories, but some ventured to witness the miracle themselves. They were welcomed, not attacked. Rin stood in the central chamber watching the work. The core pulsed in time with his heartbeat. Together they had changed the meaning of the dungeon. No longer a place of death, it was now a beacon. Do you think they will accept us fully? Rin asked. Eventually, the core said. Humanity has long forgotten the power of understanding. You have reminded them. Rin's hand touched one of the glowing crystals. Then we keep going. One step at a time. The dungeon, the surface, everyone. We can grow together. Outside, the fleet finally descended fully, landing beside the mountain. Soldiers walked among the living creatures, observing and learning. The core adjusted its energy to communicate with each of them, not as a threat but as a teacher. And somewhere deep inside the crystal heart of the dungeon, Rin's spirit glowed brightly. Not human, not entirely machine, but something greater. A symbol of what could happen when understanding overcame fear. The mountain was alive again. The dungeon had learned humanity, and humanity had learned the strength of hope and care. The light beneath the world shone brightly for the first time in centuries. It reached the stars and spread across the planet, and legends began to grow about the human who came from a dungeon, the one who changed a dying world into a home where life, metal, and hope existed together. Rin's voice echoed through the mountain and the sky alike. We are alive. Together we are stronger. Together we can build a new world.